Oh, I missed that.
This is
I'll give you the boxes. So.
there you go. And
These are
we're proudly
these are little individual pins you can wear. You know,
your suit at all the union functions. Just like around your suit.
Getting around the picture here.
Okay, I can see you just fine.
Can you hold the thing up?
Listen, thank Mr. Boyle and Mr. Grande for coming to get their medals. You know, unfortunately, given the way the difficulty that the Transit Authority placed before us, it was hard to get a hold of everybody for the 8th. We're happy they came down. You know, this is a long overdue honor for these guys. They paid a big price for their service at Ground Zero 14 years ago, and we're very happy that they came here to accept it here in our brand new Union Hall. They're welcome to come at any time they want, and to wear their lapel pins in their suits or their attire anytime they come here for a function. So again, thank you again for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just would like to say, on behalf of myself and the TWU personnel that I work with, we were unsung heroes. And unfortunately, in America's time, when the best of the best showed up, we were shoulder to shoulder, crying tears and do what we had to do. And every person I worked with, I am so humbly grateful and thankful that I was part of this American soldier war, unfortunately on American soil. What I would hope to happen is lessons being learned. Number one, what is the protocol when this happens again? Who takes care of who? What policies are changed? I would like to know this so no American ever dies on American soil, as all of us have been dying left and right. All agencies that responded, TWU had 2 miles of trucks going in the aftermath. I was on the vac truck with other personnel from 14th Street. And all the soldiers that I went into war with, I am fully so grateful and honored and humbled to be a part of. And if there is a medal, which is this medal, I hope that Congress changes laws so that nobody ever goes through what we as Americans had to go through, and policies are changed as far as respirators and qualified to be in certain zones and to be ordered. Maybe in another time and place, maybe things do change, and Congress stands up and does what they should do, is do right by the American people, because this should never have happened. And every person that I serve with, people are dying left and right through cancers. And unfortunately, the cancers are taking lives. And this is years later. What has Congress been doing as far as policies? With transit, there's immediate policies on the law, on the books, what we had to do. What happens when you go out of service? Is there injured in the line of duty? Is there death in the line of duty? What policies have changed? That's what I would like to see, so no American ever goes through what we have gone through. I am so grateful and humbled. I just hope that people learn in this time and age and what is going to change. I hope things do change. And I'm so sincerely grateful for the men that just awarded me these pins and these medals. And it is a badge of courage which people that I've worked with, moving body parts, and also other people that I work with, these are their stories. In transit, in what they were doing was cutting body parts off metal that were fused together. So I hope to God this never happens on American soil again. And I am fully thankful and grateful and respectful for this honor. And thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you.
I'll finish up.
Mr. Boyle, do you want to say anything?
Make sure to reach out to your legislators to pressure them into extending and making the Zadroga Act a permanent law. That's what I got to say.
Do you want to say anything, Mr. Boyle, about it?
I'd just like to say that it's long overdue, and I appreciate the recognition. Thank you.
All right. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you
That
very
was a
much.
pleasure to do.
Thank you for your service, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Having us down here too. Thank you very
No,
much.
thank you for coming. Great shots, by the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good photographic work.
Thank you very much.
I shot weddings.
Okay, now today we have a little impromptu ceremony, and I want to invite Dominic Spagnola up. The TWU launched a 9/11 recognition project, and in addition to the project, there were people that were injured. Not too long ago, we lost Dwayne McMenemy. He was posthumously awarded one of these medals. P. Foley also passed away, 9/11 related. So with that being said, we present this to Dominic Spagnola for his efforts and his injury at 9/11. And we thank him, and the union applauds you, Dominic. And also, Dominic was a Line Equipment Signal Division officer and the BMT chairman for the section. I almost gave you the IRT. All right. Do you want to say anything, Dominic? Or?
Yeah, like I says, I got this because I got a problem from 9/11. Not as serious as Dwayne or Pete, but I still have problems. So here we go. Like I said, nobody recognized Local 100. They recognized police department, fire department. They all, anything happens to them, they automatically get praised. But a Local 100 member passes away, and that's it. Nobody knows anything about it. So I know John Samuel's working a lot of things. I don't know if anybody's been down to the museum. There's nothing recognized for Local 100 either, which is a shame. I was down at the museum, and there's nothing recognized in Local 100 members, which is a total shame down there. Because I was down there at 9/11, I was down there as a union rep, and also as a volunteer. Yeah, I did it on my own. Nobody forced me to do anything. I did it on my own. And that's it. Like I says, a lot of guys don't recognize me. I've been outside 6 years now. Wow. Over 6 years, actually. Like I says, all new faces here. A few guys I recognize, but most of them are new. But I appreciate Local 100, John Samuelson, and Tony Tano for this award. I appreciate everything they've done, and hopefully, and create further, like I says, put this place in the museum itself. Thank you.
He goes by a fire truck. I saw a shot like that.
That's Frank Ryan. Frank Ryan and I were partners going into the aftermath. We worked together. He was ventilation and drainage, and I was plumber with
Pleasure to
transit.
meet you, Mario Gallo.
In this picture, that's me. Frank Ryan had my personal disposable camera that I had on site because I wasn't sure what we were going to find. So Frank filmed that picture of me, and I was up. These were, I don't remember I can't recall the exact date. Maybe the 15th. I don't remember the exact date. Right? I have a hard time recalling. And all these pictures, one by one, these were me and Frank on nights. This was actually the mayor's tent. Remember that, Frank? That's what was called the mayor's tent. This is what we saw at night. In the early beginning of when transit was going in, we were on nights.
This was the OEM passes, yeah.
This was my pass here that I took a video of. This particular picture was me and Frank walking down. This was actually next to Burger King. What was the building, like one or two older? From Burger King on Church?
Deutsche Bank over there on Liberty.
Liberty. This is on Liberty, walking down. And the fire department house was down about maybe 7, 8.
Right between there, I remember.
Right.
Burger King actually was a morgue, actually. In the,
Right. And then this one here
Brooks Brother was a mixture
this
of all.
particular one was filmed
Brooks Brother
by
was a
Steve
mixture of all.
Nadowitz, my foreman. I believe it was on 5/28 on one of these pictures I know of.
Right.
Right, so that was on 5/28/2002. This particular picture is what me and Frank were walking into in the aftermath, going by the mayor's tent in the vicinity. Remember that with the truck? This particular picture is actually Ronnie Spiller. This is years later. Didn't have anything to do with what we were doing in the aftermath of 9/11. This is actually the vac truck that was pivotal for the plumbers to be on. So this particular vehicle, there's two holding tanks here for the water, and this cylinder is actually a big vacuum. And on the front is actually a reel for high pressure water hoses. This actually is a picture I took with my disposable camera, and this was actually a truck on nights that I saw. This particular picture is with me and Frank on, what was that, Liberty?
I believe it is.
Liberty, right? We were walking on the side. We passed Burger King and kept on walking down and walked back up. This particular picture I photographed with Frank. Frank is an unsung hero. Frank, people don't know, but Frank was involved with ventilation and drainage. So when I teamed me and Frank up, they had a plumber and ventilation and drainage. Frank was more involved with pumps and stuff. Transit was actually watching for water coming into the tunnels as far back as Canal Street on Long Island, right? So we went in, because the pumps were knocked out due to the air, what was that, the airlines in the web?
The airline.
The airlines were knocked out, which came in as far as Brooklyn, and Frank was responsible for putting pumps back in line, because when you heard about the bathtub wall breaking,
Right.
this is what was going on. The water was dumping into the subway, coming out, and this particular man, along with other people from Transit, TWU, were following the water signs. This particular picture, my supervisor, Steve Natowitz, photographed. This is me in the zone. I was actually up above, over by the Deutsche Bank, and actually I had a Tyvek suit on, and when I was done with all my particular information, what I was involved in going into the vents for access and protection, then I took my vest, my Tyvek suit off, and we walked over underneath. This is actually the whole picture itself. That particular person is Steve Natowitz, my foreman, who was a carpenter foreman out of 14th Street.
Wow.
This particular picture was on the site as well. I took these particular pictures. And this one, and this is another picture here. And it shows right here the exact date that my foreman, Steve Natowitz, took. This is another picture that I took, many pictures, and these are just copies. And
Okay.
again, that's Frank.
All right.
Frank. So I just
Great.
wanted you to know.
Now I can photograph these
You can photograph them.
so that I can keep images of them.
You
Yeah.
keep them.
These are
this-
for us.
If you wish.
Oh, well, that'd be great.
These are photographs. These are actually copies of what I just showed you. I think. These are copies of.
Well, we can take the copies. We can take
these guys. He has a 1200 dot per inch scanner that will
So
turn these guys into
these
digital
are
files.
copies from my original.
Okay,
Now in
okay.
these there's close to 100 photographs. Carmine Labasco, God rest his soul, he passed away. He gave me an album of these pictures, which I have the whole album at home, and I have the original.
Okay, of these.
Of those.
All right.
So, and what it is I'm giving you copies because I wasn't sure
He has
how to handle
copies.
it.
He made your copies.
So I made the copies. I made the
He made the
copies of the
copies.
album, close to 100 pictures.
right.
I hope you see these in the museum. What I would like to learn and what I would like to happen is, number one, I want to see policy changed.
Yeah.
Number one, on respirators. Number two, on the cartridges, because I was deployed to City Hall. My cartridges, under normal conditions, under normal asbestos conditions, which were designed for 8 hours, on a set of cartridges, on a magenta cartridges, and also I went through 2 sets of cartridges. Should have been good for 16 hours. I went through them in 3 hours.
Wow.
So, and then once I ran out of the cartridges, I had paper masks. Number one. Number two is the Tyvek suit saved me because going into the vents of itchy skin, irritations. So these are critical so no American ever goes through what we go through, what we went through. And that being said, I would like to see policy change. So if there's another incident like this in America, what is the policy when an American goes out injured in the line of duty in wartime? Because this is war on America, and that's what happened. And I am so grateful and honored and humbled to be around so many heroes and thankful. And this man here jumped through hoops that I was with, and he was jumping through hoops, different things from what was going on, of his specialty and his craft, just like everybody out of this hall, everybody in this union. I am so grateful and honored to have been part of America's history. And I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. My dad served in the United States Navy as a submariner, and that's where I come from. So my family is everything in the world to me, just as everybody else is. So I just say thank you very much, and I'm grateful and humbled.
All right, well, again, thank you, and help us correct the historical record, which needs some serious fixing.
Don't get the medal too.
You get the medal. My name's Alan Grande. I was a plumber out of 14th Street Emergency Response. I am grateful for this union. I am grateful to be in the company of heroes. Now I get it, because a hero is what somebody does unsung, without asking for anything in return. And in that time, in America's worst of history, and the catastrophe that was going on, I seen the best of Americans that was shoulder to shoulder and worked side by side. I am humbled and grateful to be a part of history in the devastation of 9/11, and I am honored and grateful to be in the company of members that I've worked with immediately, Frank Ryan, Jeff Gosses, Bobby Nash, and the list goes on. All I ask is one thing: stand tall and proud of what you do for a living, and never let anybody take honor away from you. Thank you very much for your time.